What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to wherever, and I mean wherever, whatever part of the earth you call home. This is your Nissan Nation, and I'm your host, David, and we got Danny over there, and we got the Corbino next to me here.
Hello.
Mr. Nissan Center extraordinaire over there, and we thought, hey, why not? The IT department needs to come in every once in a while and at least say hi, I guess. Danny, what is going on, buddy?
What up, Dave? What up, all the chatters, the listeners, our fellow Nissan enthusiasts, and jabronis out there? What's going on out there right now this evening? I am currently having a nice, cold, extremely cheap
Silver Bullet.
corn seltzer.
Yeah?
I'm having a corn seltzer. I can't remember. Is Chorus the ones that was like making fun of the other people for corn?
I don't know. Were they?
Barley-
I knew there was some weird
barley seltzer. I'm having a barley seltzer right now. What are you drinking tonight, Dave?
Dude, I am on a sweet new bottle of Frontier bourbon or whiskey, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know whatever they define it as, but it's good.
Cordetti's here from Alberta.
Got a few.
What's
We got
up,
a few
Cordetti?
people in the house. We got
Kevin Minnie's here.
What's up, Kevin? Jeff
Omar
Cordetti.
Manella.
You can hear my hound dog going off. My alarm's here. Sorry,
Oh.
pizza's being delivered, and the dog doesn't appreciate that.
Oh, I think I'm getting pizza too.
What? Wow,
We're all just
man.
going to sit here tonight on the Nissan Nation podcast. Dave and Danny just slog down a couple slices of the old pie.
Well, that's funny because Corbin was telling me, he was like, you guys need to do a S whatever something stream. And I was like, what is that? He's like, you crank the mic up really loud and they just listen to
ASMR.
Yeah, you just listen to the noises people are making. I was like, really?
Yeah, you get the gain going super hard and you just... this is the sound of a beer bottle can clicking back and forth.
Anyways, so I'm super excited to be here tonight, guys, and hopefully you can hear us. Make sure you can hear us all right. Be sure to give this thing some likes because, as I've learned over this past year, when you hit that thing, it tells people who may not know about the show that you're friends with or you subscribe to, or however Google works, that hey, you might be interested in that. So when you do that, it helps us a lot. So
Give us the thumb.
yeah. Come on, thumb it, dude. Anyways, Dan, you've had a big week, man. Tonight you called me in all excited. I rarely get here excited, Danny. It's got to be really like super like great news, and you got some. I don't want to reveal. This is your news, so I don't want to you let it go however it needs to. But there's some cool things that Danny's working on, guys.
Yeah, I've because as many of you guys know, I'm super into the race scene, especially with the Nissan stuff. I'm part of all the Facebook groups, and so eventually you see all these different builds that are happening, whether it's race trucks or rebuilds or whatnot. I definitely don't want to reveal the full shebango right now, but on Monday, I have a tentative date on Monday to go down and check out some absolute historic and amazing refreshed racing vehicles that are just I can't. I was so pumped when I talked to the guy. The guy's a super cool cat.
Yeah.
Who wants to who's just really into the same stuff I am. Really cool off-road race.
Hey, Dan,
Nissan stuff.
hold on. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody here in this, we got over almost 40 people watching. If any of you guys are in any of the cool Nissan groups, if you guys would share this link for us, man, if you would let everybody know that we're live tonight. I'm trying to get away from, we've been wearing people out, me and Danny have, but if you guys would just make it more naturally that you do that, I'd appreciate it. Anyways, Danny, I apologize.
No problem, buddy. Yeah, that's a good heads up. If you guys would share it for us, that'd be great. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a lot of video and interview and take a look at some serious Nissan heritage nostalgia, as well as some kind of refurbished and all new stuff. And on top of that, there kind of to mix that into some of my race truck news is I'm probably going to be taking my race truck out for its maiden voyage in the next 2 weeks, I believe.
Right.
I think that's the plan. I think it's going to be the weekend after Martin Luther King weekend. So I'm going to be probably taking my truck out, and there may be another, we'll call it extremely important Nissan truck out there. I'll know more on Monday because I've set the plans up for Monday, and I'll have more information next week. But some really, really cool things happening. Just some really, it's so cool to send a phone number over DM on Facebook and hope for the best, and
Yeah,
then you make
yeah.
the phone call, and it's better and cooler than you expected. And it's just really fun to be able to do this kind of stuff and connect this way. So I'm pretty pumped and excited for not only for me to just go and geek out on this stuff, but as well as to
share
try
it.
and bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, to bring it out and show all you guys the cool, fun stuff that I'm able to get my hands on
Well,
and see.
and part of the cool thing of whether it be the NMP here or All Terrain Nation or other channel is Danny is West Coast, I'm East Coast. So we're able to bring a lot of different flavor. Like there's no desert racing here, I mean, the odds
None.
of me ever running across a desert racing truck are pretty slim.
Well, to tell you the truth, Dave, there was a super. I almost tagged you. I forgot to. There was a super boss race. We'll call it a pre-runner that was for sale over in Nashville, and
Yeah.
I was going to tag you. It's the first Nashville, Tennessee pre-runner that was properly built that I've ever seen. So I was going to tag you in that. But yes, 99.9% of the time there are not extreme. Well, we'll say 90% of the time. An extremely well-built pre-runner is not rolling around Tennessee.
Yeah, no, it's rare. There's the Desert Runner, the Nismo Desert Runner that MW whatever Motorsports helped build. That I'm supposed to. Nismo has told me I can drive this vehicle. I don't know that I've talked about this yet. It was literally they were like, "Hey, do you know a place that we can do this?" And I was like, "Do I know a place? Hell yeah, just my driveway. I'll drive it. I don't care." But so the one with the V8 that you seen at SEMA last year, I'm supposedly, and I'm trying to get if we can arrange it right, Danny, because I know Danny. That's the one out of all the Nissan things right now that we could drive.
I'd rather drive it than the Z.
Right, and I think
all day.
I think I would right now too.
Yeah.
But this same source has kind of the Z. Speaking, that was a good segue. He's kind of effed me on that Z before it left back to Japan. So we'll see. Fingers are crossed. But like with anything, it's all you scratch my back, I scratch yours. But first off, I want to let everybody know we have Frontier coming up as we segue. And I know you guys like more than anything I can put on this channel. If I talk Frontier, you guys go freaking nuts, and for good reason. Like the Frontier, whether it be just dated, almost 16 years old, you guys go nuts for it because it's the one thing right now besides the Z that Nissan has that you can go, that's a kick-ass truck, or that makes me want to get out there and do something or wrench on my vehicle. So I have not checked today, but I would have got a email about it. There's no exact date just yet, but in January, I've told you guys, Frontier is coming along with Pathfinder. And while I'm talking, let me look at my calendar real quick, just so
go ahead.
So if it were to drop, and this is speculation right now, I don't. My buddy Kevin in here might. It's Kevin, right? Yeah, Kevin might know a little better than I would, but I'm going to say it would either drop by next Thursday or the last weekend of January. And why that is because you had the presidential thing on, the 20th. And
20th,
nobody wants to compete with – the way the world is right now, politics aside, you don't want to compete with any of that for any kind of hope of now, Nissan has a weird timing. We've discussed that too. So maybe they're like,
yeah, right.
Hell, we'll do it when they're electing Biden. We'll just his speech, that's when we're dropping it. I don't know. But
yeah, right.
But so I've gotten a lot of emails about this, and we appreciate it. And I've gotten a lot of emails this week, Danny, about people just asking advice on buying vehicles, which is super cool. If you guys ever email us, nissannationpodcast@gmail.com, hit me up, and we'll either answer it or we'll ask it on here or get you guys advice. I don't mind doing that at all. But Dan, we're like that. I mean, that close of seeing this thing, man.
Yeah. obviously the Frontier is number one thing that we want to see. We've had all the teasers. We have a very good understanding of what it's going to look like, and it's mainly seeing it come out with its full suit on, or full revealing dress before the ball.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I really do want to see what the Pathfinder looks like
Mm-hmm.
finished up in its full regalia.
Yeah, when you see that Armada, and it's just going to be a step above that, the new
Yeah,
Armada is
so
freaking amazing, man.
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to both. You know what, I kind of already feel like I know what the Frontier looks like just because we've poured over them so much. I'm not more
Oh,
excited, but I'm more interested in what the Pathfinder looks like because I can't wrap my head around it, as well as the fact that I'd kind of like my wife to get one if it is good.
right.
So I'm really pulling. I feel like the Frontier is going to be really good. We'll see, what it comes out with as far as features and bennies.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pathfinder, I'm really pulling for it as kind of like this underdog. Really hoping Nissan comes up with something good for that.
The thing with the Pathfinder, we've been told that it's getting a real transmission again. Now it's still going to be front wheel drive based, or everything that I know points to it would be front wheel drive based. How do you think that thing's going to do towing? Because it will. I mean, there'll be an all wheel drive version, but I still don't know that they can hit 7K at towing. And now Jeep, me and Danny were going to do a video on. I just had some family emergency come up the other night. Jeep just launched a new Grand Cherokee. It's bigger. Of course, it's being a Jeep, so it's going to be pretty capable off-road. But they bragged a lot in their reveal that the Grand Cherokee is going to be able to tow 7K like nothing. Now, that's playing exactly into this category the Pathfinder plays in. And,
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do you know if that was that with their 3-liter diesel?
I haven't dug too deep into that because of the issue I had pop up, but if you guys seen the Grand Wagoneer, you've seen the Grand Cherokee. It's just a mini version of it.
Yeah, so there's been some talk of whether or not I've heard some things about Jeep and their towing capacity. They say they could do it, but it's a real sketchy stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be very interested to see how that plays out in real
world terms. A lot of these too are getting sketchy. Like Ford with the F-150 saying, "Oh, it can tow 12,000 pounds," and you're like, "That's an completely aluminum truck now."
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a big trailer.
They do it?
That's
yes.
2 of my trailers, which
yeah.
I wouldn't do that with a.
But do you think the Frontier has to step up its towing capabilities? Right. What is it at, like 6,500 right now?
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to step up that much. To tell you the truth, I think that size of vehicle, you shouldn't be towing anything because it's just going to be so big.
Well, everything we've seen of this, it looks like it is going to get a. I mean, obviously it's on the same frame.
It might be. Yeah. It's a bigger truck. I agree with you, Dave. As far as that, I mean, if they say it can tow 7,000, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'd want to. You don't want to. If you're buying that type of truck, you're not going to be looking at anything for for 7,000 pounds.
Go with me on this. Okay, so in the world of trucks, 10K is sort of the benchmark now for a half-ton truck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, these others said they can do more, but 10K is the benchmark.
Yeah.
You drop down, and I think 7,500 to 8K is where a midsize needs to be because we have price points for why you would buy a full-size truck versus a small truck. If everything keeps jumping up levels, why wouldn't you want the towing to jump up just a little more?
I think that 8K is like more. I kind of think that 8K is more of like what you would still tow with the 1,500 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that you need to be anything more than 7,000 with a midsize truck. I really don't.
Why?
I don't
why
think
though?
Because customers in that level of truck are not thinking of towing anything bigger than a couple jet skis, a small boat, you know, a 2-person travel trailer. If you're going to be buying any kind of a trailer, even if it's an entry level trailer for a family, and if you have a family, you want a big 4-door truck with room, you're going to be looking at trailers that are, and this is from my perspective with a trailer right now, that I have a 6,500-pound trailer, and you know, we're possibly going to be getting a bigger trailer at some point in time.
Right.
So even at 65 to 6,800 pounds, I'd like a full size truck to tow that thing with. It never crossed my mind that I would tow it with my Frontier, though I did, and it did it all right. You know, with the it was at the top of that towing capacity.
Okay. Well,
I just don't think that mid-sized trucks are being bought by consumers who are looking to have
but
tow capacity.
We're
for
Americans.
That.
We always want the next thing has to be bigger, correct?
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying 7,000 pounds is good.
Well, no, but look, I just quickly did a Ford Ranger, 2020 Ford Ranger, 7,500 pounds towing with a little 4-cylinder.
Yeah, but Dave, that they sacrificed so much with that rear suspension in order to get that number.
Yes. I believe you. Yes.
And I don't think Nissan should do that. I think they should say 7,000 pounds. They should have a much more comfortable driving truck, and call it a day. Maybe they do 7,500 pounds just to keep up with the Joneses.
Well, so Colorado, 7,000 pounds, and that's Colorado's due for a refresh.
Yeah, but I mean, 7,000 pounds is good.
No, I'm not doubting. I'm not saying, and I even think
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's, you know, maybe they do 7,250. They split the difference or whatever. But I think that's where you need to be. And I understand, you know, bigger, better, stronger, faster. But I don't. I think for the market, I don't think that's the bigger, better, stronger, faster thing that most people. I don't think it's the selling point that you need to be pushing.
Yeah, but that people buy. I mean, obviously, people buy trucks as a luxury vehicle now. But in a sense, too, people buy trucks to use them, Dan. You know, and some people, especially you get in more into the city people, they want to be able to pull their boat, maybe that they've got in storage, but they don't want a full size truck either, right?
Yeah, but most boats are 5,000 pounds or so.
Yeah, but you don't want.
And if you have a big boat, you buy a bigger truck. I'm just saying that.
Don't use logic on that. Don't use logic.
Most people
Dan.
in the mid-sized truck range are never thinking that they're going to be towing something substantial with that truck. They're never considering it, and even if they did, they'd probably consider going to a larger truck.
Right. Well, and two, the way full-size trucks are getting more luxurious and stuff, you know, like you can get a F-250 or a 2500 GMC. You can get used to back in the day when I was a kid. If you got a 2500, dude, you were lucky to get a tape deck in that thing. You know, they were just basic. Now you can get a Denali package with that what is it, the AT4 package or whatever they call it. Dude, it's a palace, you know? But I just think that the way the market shifts, you know, the Altima, look how tiny the Altima was. The Versa we have now is almost the size of the original Altima. Every model year slightly gets a little bigger, a little more capable. You know, the Altima now is playing where the Maxima was playing.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, most people would never consider towing a nice 15, 20-foot boat with a hard body.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, my Frontier, no one would ever, you know, with the last gen of Frontier, no one would ever tow my trailer with that last gen of Frontier. It'd die. It would explode in a fiery ball of flame.
My Gen 1 Xterra, I used to tow my 18.5-foot Bayliner with that weak-ass 6-cylinder. And in the hills around here in Tennessee, you'd have to floor it to get up some of the hills. But
That's what I'm saying.
But it was
sketchy.
But that was a poorly horse-powered engine, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was more torquey, right? And it was geared a little bit lower or whatever. Right. But you know, that's not what that vehicle was really.
No, I agree.
It's not marketed for that type of scenario.
Well, you guys let us know in these comments. Trailers. Let us know in these comments about this particular topic, because I bring this up because we do know the next Frontier is moments away. They basically said so in the Armada reveal. My buddy, God, God, my mind's blazing today. Nissan Hawaii Nation, he had a nice post about
Ronald.
Ronald was talking about how, they were showing, basically he had a little clip from that, basically showing that it was, on its way, and what our favorite PR lady said about it. What do you expect from the reveal, though, Dan? Do you expect Nissan to get a little flashy, or do you expect it could be potentially another snooze fest?
I kind of feel like they're going to work pretty hard at the Frontier. I don't think it's going to be quite the Z reveal. I think they really tried for the Z reveal. I don't think it'll be quite the Z reveal, but I think it'll be up there with one of the ones that they're trying, one of the hardest
Right.
hit things of all the reveals that they've been doing up to this point besides the Z. I think that this one's going to be their second home run.
It has to be.
Most important. It's one of the most large changes, other than like Aria and stuff like that.
Right. And really, this we know what. I hate using flop for Titan, but it kind of has been a flop for the brand compared to other models. But the Frontier, more than anything, cannot be a flop, right? They really need to not just reveal it. There better be a Super Bowl ad for this truck.
Yeah, they need to create excitement about it. They need to really put the stones to Toyota on this truck.
And that's the only person I mention in the ad, or I go after is Toyota.
Yeah.
I don't mention any. There is no other brands I mention.
Yeah, you don't even have to mention the other brands. You could do a poignant jab into the ribs of all the other brands by however your verbiage you say. But I've seen a couple commercials in the past where it's they say something where it's a complete jab at any other brand.
Yeah.
I think I saw it in a Jeep video or whatever.
Well,
but you could definitely put some of that work into it.
Jeep, that Super Bowl ad they did a few years ago when they brought out the new JL. They showed it coming out of a mountain, crossing a creek, going right to a road. That's Jeep has some of the most brilliant ads. Jeep's marketing in general they are so bright about who would have thought, let's paint the tow hooks red, and that's going to mean anything. People see that and it can just say trail capable or whatever it says on the side. They see them bright tow hooks and they're like, holy hell, this thing can do it. They've whatever Jeep marketing does, whether it be part of their Easter Jeep Safari, which is not them, but they do a big reveals on it. They always do a couple concept vehicles. Nissan has chances with Gone Moab, or they have chances with my event, Windrock. They could have done, yes, there is money involved into those things, but the amount of payback and showing that you're a part of your audience. Yeah. Yes, more than likely 80 to 90% of every Frontier sold is never going off-road that we all like, or it's just going to be a basic bitch work truck, basically, is today's PC terms like to say, but it has to look more than it is, correct?
Yeah.
And Jeep does that very well.
They really should do some, very rugged and it's all marketing really. They really should market it as, this off-road, overland capable, whimsical vehicle that this thing could just take you anywhere in the US you want to go. Especially, right now campers are selling like crazy. People can't go to hotels or whatever they want to do,
Yep.
So they're going out and staying, camping and doing whatever they can to get out right now. So it's a perfect time to say, hey, if you're going to be able, if you want to go out and get out and do your thing, here's a great vehicle.
And maybe that. like you're saying, sorry, Dan, to interrupt you, but you're definitely onto something. If they're smart, you use COVID to your advantage right now.
Yeah, you capitalize for sure.
And not obviously there's a lot of sadness and it's just a bad time. But as far as the adventure side of people going out and camping and like you're saying, it's hot button, obviously, like you're saying, and RV sales are nuts right now. Like you cannot find a lot of this stuff, like you were saying. Dude, I would be like, there's my home run.
Yeah, it's all about how you spin things. You're not. I wouldn't say, COVID's killing a lot of people, but just because a lot of people are dying doesn't mean you can't adventure. That'd be a terrible marketing campaign. You could say though,
Just because your grandfather
in
has
a,
passed away,
in a
doesn't
world with closed resorts everywhere and social distancing, be the most take your social distance to the utmost perfection or something like that. You know what?
yeah, maybe you
However
have
you want to spin it.
you
go
have
through
some
a
sort of
couple-
ad like a vacation, you know, where they go to the moose and the moose is like, sorry folks, we're closed or whatever. They could play on that ad a little bit, and it shows like this Pro 4X rolling up, like taking the family there.
Yeah, just camping out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
No,
you know,
but here's what you do,
beautiful-
Dan. Follow with me here. I'm a creative
Okay.
guy. So they show up to like a Wally World kind of park, and there's whatever the character is. It's sorry, you know, we're closed, and all you see is the husband look at the wife, and there's two kids in the background, and the next thing you see is that thing kind of going through some dunes or something, and then it shows a campsite, and it's like the front, you know, some slogan of Frontier. Kind of like Xterra, everything you need, nothing you don't. But you play
Yeah,
on
exactly.
the adventure finds you or something like that, or
Yeah.
or something about what could it be, like timing adventure? I don't know.
Adventure time.
Yeah.
It's adventure time. Hey Dave, I gotta hit the can.
No, go right ahead. So I'm gonna get to a couple of the questions here. JQ says the Titan isn't a flop. Nissan sucked when it came to the Titan. Customers shouldn't have to advertise the truck for them. When I say the Titan is a flop, I'm a reporter and I'm looking at this as a market. I owned a Titan. It's a great vehicle. So I don't mean it as a, you know, it's a piece of crap truck. No, by far the Titan is very, very capable. But yes, as a whole, it just hasn't done very well. So don't think of it as long as Allison's in the commercial. No, Kevin, I know that's people you look up to there, but no, I don't want Allison as Allison's not our marketing person. Who I don't want is Captain Marvel in the commercial. Sell cars all you want to that audience. It's guys will not buy into that particular woman for whatever, you know, I mean, she's made her own bed in some of this, but we live in yes, girls are just as capable. My wife is a better driver than me off-road. I will admit that. But right now, I would say the market for truck buying is still pretty male-dominated. Do we want that to shift? Of course. I wish it was 50-50. I wish it was 50-50 with every race, whatever. But right now, it's like I've bitched about the Carlos Ghosn releasing the Titan in 16 or 15, the Nissan Titan. Like, know your market, know who you're preaching to, and advertise that way. But I know, Kevin. I'm just messing with you. Let's see. Anyways, but as far as the Frontier as well, I think when we see that, I really do believe that the horsepower is going to be bumped up on that thing. It's just 5 or 10 horsepower. It doesn't have to be much, but you can't show exactly your whole cards of the motor from the 2020 that they put it into the new one. It just wouldn't. I don't see that as doing well. Let's see. Dog Breath says Titan sold 26,439 units in 2020. How much will Nissan support the Titan? Well, 2020 is a special year. Nissan, within that special year of 2020, has been fighting an uphill battle due to Mr. Ghosn's issues he's put the company in. So a lot of that, as a fanboy, I will say, I give Nissan kind of a break on some of that. But yes, they need to support their vehicles. And right now, Nissan is in a thing where a lot of high volume cars. That's why you're seeing Rogue in commercials right now. It's a high volume vehicle for them. It's an SUV, so they do make a little bit more of a premium versus car. But trucks make money. There's a particular reason that the next Pro 4X is going to be a 40K plus truck, and it doesn't cost that much to make it. Trust me. There's money to be made there. And DS, thank you for that $5. Let's see what you have to say. The F-150 hybrid is here. The rest are already hybridizing their trucks too. Nissan is going to be left out again if they do not do a Frontier hybrid. I would agree with that. And Nissan knows EV, so there's why Nissan they toyed with hybrids. There was an Altima hybrid you could get mid 2000s, but they only sold it in select markets. they were using the Toyota system on it and just making it work for the Altima. Why they don't, I don't know. I would think Dan. So the question here is Frontier hybrid. I can see them doing like the new F-150 with their power boost or whatever they're going to call it. It's just a hybrid. Um, I could see doing something like that. The power boost doesn't have a big battery pack in it. Let's not act like it's just running EV all the time.
Yeah, I think they would have to definitely have some good pricing. I think pricing might be a thing. In the midsize truck, it seems like there might be a little bit less wiggle room in the midsize truck pricing arena. I
Mr.
think customer.
Marksman, Mr. Marksman 718 said social distance yourself with the Frontier. That's pretty funny. Where's our sniper tonight, man?
Hold on, I
Me
missed
so
it.
honey, we need our sniper in
I think he was at the Walmart. Oh no.
here.
Well, no, it was B Warren last week. He was sending them he was sending them out last week.
That's right. Let's see. What about a Rogue E Power VC Turbo? Rafael Garcia says I can see that,
I
and
can
you
see
guys,
that, yeah.
I'm not a big. I understand hybrid tech in trucks, especially because when you need a little torque, that costs fuel, and if you have that little bit of electricity to help push that engine along, I totally see it in a truck. I'm not. I'm not sold on any electric vehicles right now, truck wise. I'm just not sold on a complete EV. I don't think the tech is there yet. I think it's I think yes, like Ford when the F-150 comes out, they've had Rivian's help with that. You're going to see, oh man, it's going to get 300 miles. Yeah, but 300 miles in the perfect situation. That's like saying that sticker on the side of the truck when you buy your next Frontier that says 1520. That means like that's what you should exactly expect. No, in the real world, maybe 18, 13. So EV really scares me with what they're about to come out with.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean I'm excited about some of the EVs that are out there, but I don't think that they're gonna be anywhere near the end all be all that a truck needs to be. I'm more excited about the advancement and some of the how well they're doing so far.
Well, you were big on the VC turbo. I remember back when we
I
were
was
just
yeah
podcasting.
the VC turbo is just cool tech. The variable compression. Is it the end all be all? I don't know.
Can you make that VC turbo that little 4-cylinder? Do you think they could do that in a 6-cylinder and add anything to it?
Yeah, I think they can get some great gas mileage out of motors with that technology, and then really it really just changes the characteristics of the motor depending on what kind of loads you want on the vehicle, and what you the myriad of driving modes that you're in. If you're cruising on the freeway, if you're just in city traffic, stop and go traffic, um, or if you're really getting it on it through the canyons or whatever, it just allows you to go from a super non-torquey kind of fuel sipping to a down and dirty, full
Yeah.
compression, motor.
Hey,
So I think it's there.
in the chat, I've seen a couple things talking about superchargers in vehicles. My opinion of superchargers, I love them. I love the sound of that whine a supercharger has. Superchargers aren't really efficient for fuel economy. They're all about pumping in horsepower, but I don't know that a supercharger is the way to go for fuel economy, Dan.
No, they're not. It's just not as an efficient type of induction, forced induction. Um, yeah, you can get some more horsepower out of them, etc. But it's just not. It's not efficient comparatively speaking to the turbocharger. And I think on top of that, I think the amount of tooling and whatnot for a supercharger it's just it's a much larger unit usually, especially if it's like a root style. And I just don't know. It seems like longevity seems like a problem. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like most manufacturers have gone away from supercharging almost everything.
Supercharger
You see
literally
them
to
here
me,
and there, but
yeah,
not much.
it drag strip, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, a lot of you there's a lot of pro chargers in the aftermarket that are really cool and they're great. It's a little bit of a smaller unit, and really cool stuff.
Hard
I'm not
hard
saying
Hard Enduro says neither is the Hellcat, but it sells.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Hellcat's a Hellcat. That it is what it is.
Damn near almost 12-year-old or 15-year-old vehicle that they keep some. That's part of Chrysler FCA's brilliance, though. They can dump a supercharger. Look at Jeep. Now it doesn't have the supercharger in it, which I took a shit ton of heat on a video, and I didn't really say it. I just called the engine a Hellcat. And because it's the same block. Oh my God, Danny!
Right.
On the other channel, I've never taken so much heat in my life. But yes, sorry, I'm reading what people are posting here.
Oh yeah. I don't know where I left off, but yeah.
Yeah. Into the supercharger when they did that in that 3.3, that was sort of a Hail Mary for Nissan. It wasn't like they had something coming down the pipeline that was about to have 300 or 265 horsepower, 261 horsepower with the new generation Xterra and Frontier and Pathfinder, and they kind of just needed a little boost with that truck, so why that thing got a supercharger.
Yeah, it needed to compete kind of. Ford came out in I want to say 2000. Their 4-liter had 200 horsepower, and so they needed to step it up, so they slapped a supercharger on it and called it a day. It was fun. It was good at the time. It was, it was a little bit more beefy and
but it never
nice.
That supercharger never added a lot. Let's be honest. It wasn't it could have been tuned a little better. They could have went through that engine. It was sort of if we throw this on there, put a little bit bigger injector.
Yeah, what did it add? Like 40 horsepower, 30 horsepower,
if that. Yeah, it was like at 220. I think is what it put it at.
210 horsepower. I don't remember what the regular 3.3 stock was.
It changed over the years, but it started at 160 is where it kind of started at.
Yeah, I think it ended at It just put it up to par, kind of, as far as the motor was concerned.
Well, let's see. Guys, bring your questions too. Let's see.
Well, and here's the deal, Dave. With we can't beat around the bush. We can't pretend like it's not going to happen. We may have a Green New Deal, and we may all be driving electric vehicles for the next 5 years.
Well, and that is true. During the Obama era, and I'm not getting political here, guys. We're just going to talk about what happened.
You know what, Dave?
What?
Dave, before you do the asterisk, I'm not getting political.
No, I'm not going to get political.
We can get a little political right now because,
well, 'tis the season, I guess.
It is a season, but it does have extreme ramifications in the car world because, just like you were about to say, we knew or we felt some of this in the Obama era, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, so I was going to say, that was part of his deal was when he was coming in, and he did jump. I will say this: he did jumpstart a lot of tech that we're getting
Tesla.
Now. Yes, like a lot of this stuff.
He jump-started Tesla is what he did.
Well, and a lot of solar panels that went out of business, but there was a spark to get a little bit better fuel economy at the time. The late 2000s, everybody was in a kind of status quo. There wasn't really a push to get us past a certain mark. Now, maybe we went about it too quickly, which caused a havoc in the auto community. But you were about to say, yes, we're about to probably get round 2 of that. Now, will we get cash for cars and all that crap? I doubt that. Lord knows, as much money as the government's giving away right now. At some point, I was talking to my CPA tonight actually, and she's like, expect a 35 to 40% tax rate coming up.
Yeah, no,
and eventually we're all going to pay for a lot of this, and we've had some good times under our current president for maybe some little lighter fuel numbers needed. But yes, like you were saying, Dan, round 2 is about to pop. I see gas prices already jumped up about 30 or 40 cents.
I'm in California, so I already know you guys, all of you people's future. I already know what it's like.
Right now.
I'm spending almost $4 a gallon right now.
Well, we've gotten
on premium
during the heart of the recession. We probably hit almost $4 a gallon here. I've been
Yeah.
paying
So
under $2, to 180 to 190 is what we've been paying. But
I
now,
yeah,
right now, it's about 220.
I expect gas prices to go up. I don't think there's going to be any niceties extended to gas companies because it's evil oil. I do expect a lot more pressures on green energy. So, what I think one of the weird things that I was talking to my brother about this tonight, one of the weird things that happened with the whole Ford and Tesla and whatever, Ford was, there was that whole like crazy deals where one car company was buying the
Credits. Yeah.
credits of the other companies because they had more, Tesla had all these credits for their clean air energy, and
Yeah,
so
the GM
Ford
was
was
buying. GM was buying those.
yeah,
Yeah, they were
and
buying Tesla's
all these weird deals that it was just
carbon credits.
it's yeah, carbon credits. That's what it was.
Mhm.
Super weird stuff that you'd never think would be possible, which is so who knows, because companies they're gonna make their things and they're gonna get around it, or they're gonna do what they can to make money, and so that's what it is. So we'll see how things shake up. It will be interesting if we get some really liberal choices on Green New Deals, or emission standards that might be hitting the rest
Yep.
of the country, like like they have been hitting California. You guys may just have shitty gas cans for the rest of your life, like we do.
Thanks, man. Well,
So
a couple comments here. So Smitty's Garage says Cash for Clunkers took out a lot of good cars. I was amazed back when that happened because I could have sold my like 3-year-old Xterra for Cash for Clunkers. Like
yeah.
they killed so many good cars.
Yeah, I was buying a vehicle at that time, and I was asking their dealership that I worked at, like, where are these cars going? They're like, yeah, we can't sell these. They literally have to be like
But they were putting
completely
something
wrecked.
through the fuel system that locked it up, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch of things that I think that they were doing.
It was a glass. It was a glass mixture that would lock up the engine and just ruin it.
Yeah, they were destroying those vehicles completely. There was nothing you could do. And I remember seeing a bunch of Jeeps, Cherokees, because at the time I was like, dude, I could totally snag one of those Cherokees and just like
Yeah.
make it an off-road vehicle.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, let me just get one of those Cherokees. I'm like, I won't register it. They're like, no, we gotta
Yeah.
prove that we're destroying it. I'm like, this is stupid.
Like Danny's like, let me show you how we're gonna destroy this.
Yeah, I'll destroy it just fine.
So let's see. Mike Mickey says they took an underpowered engine and then added a underpowered supercharger. Talking about that 3.3 supercharger.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty right.
Well, back in the day, Dave, in 2000, I had bought a brand new Ford Ranger, and I always made fun of the Nissan Xterra because I was like, they put a supercharger on it, and it's still the same horsepower as my Ranger.
Yeah.
I would always clown on the guys.
Except
like,
your Ranger was
"That's just
already
weak."
about 12 years old in a design when you bought it. No, it'd been older than that because that frame never changed on that thing for 20 years, I think.
Hold on, Dave. I'm gonna go grab a picture of it.
Oh, we're gonna get a picture of Danny's Ranger. Danny's very proud of this picture, by the way. But let's see. Ricky Bobby's trying to call Danny out. Cali Groomers. Let's see. Flytrap said, let's see. Didn't California just ban? I'll save that one for Danny. What's up, Joe Taylor? Dia says Jeep Gladiator owner got the warranty voided through driving through mud. I did see that. We'll talk about that in just a second. Danny Flytrap says, hold on. We'll get to it. Flytrap just said because he paid for this, Dan. Okay. He said, didn't California just ban all gas cars by 2035? I see 60% tax rate for anybody earning over $40K within 4 years, so they can mirror Norway.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, that's good. Welcome to California. It's just gonna get worse than ever. Well, here's the thing: there's gonna be a quarter of the people living in California 4 years from now, if my predictions are correct.
Well,
everybody left California.
A report came out that Tennessee was the top state for getting refugees from other states. We beat out Texas.
I think Tennessee's a huge one. I know that for sure.
Because we don't have a state income. I think it's us in Florida don't have a state income tax, or it's just us in another state now that doesn't have it.
Yeah, and Tennessee's pretty cool.
And there's a lot of opportunity for work here too.
So, Dave, real quick, I was talking about the Ranger,
yeah,
and I think it's funny because it's literally a red Ford Ranger with fiberglass fenders. Some things never change, Dave, and
I know.
I say never grow up. The only thing that's changed in my vehicle choice is 4 doors.
But wasn't that a 2-wheel drive?
No, that's a 4-wheel
Was
drive.
it a 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, that
But
was
you
4-wheel drive.
hydrolocked that one or something, right?
Yeah, I hydrolocked it.
Did you feel like an idiot when you did it?
Uh-huh.
Good.
I had a lot of payments left on that thing. I owned it for like maybe a year before I bought it brand new.
Oh, damn. Oh, there's
Yeah.
B. Warren. What's up, buddy? What's up, Carlos? Let's see. So Carlos asked the new Frontier direct injection engine, how long will that thing be, basically last? I've not because the one's only been out for a year basically, or not even a year really yet. And such the world we live in right now, there's not been a lot of long-term kind of testing on it. The only thing the Titan has is that cylinder 7. And I've not heard exactly why that it's not getting fuel or something. I forget what's causing it to lock. But it's so random. It's not a
It's not
roll
as
of the dice
widespread
that
as
you get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that I think that direct inject has been around for a while now, quite a while. I don't see a big
What's up,
problem.
Brian?
I'm curious how much there may be a problem with the buildup of carbon.
It's carbon
on the back of the buildup of carbon on the back of cylinders. Usually with like a port injection, I believe it's port injection. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But you would get the gas that would spray onto the top of the valve, and therefore break up that carbon. Gas has a lot of cleaning properties, basically detergents in it, and that would clean up the back of the valves and break down some of that carbon and keep things fairly clean on the back of the valves. Whereas some vehicles with that, they don't clean up that carbon on the back of the valves nearly as well in a direct inject scenario. So I'm interested in that. I don't know enough about it to know if that's a problem with them, but I know that that's something that has been brought up with direct inject vehicles.
But it's not like Nissan's the only person using direct injection anymore.
No. Almost every manufacturer has a direct inject motor now.
Let's see. ATX Trent says Texas doesn't have an income tax, so maybe that's the other state. I think there's only 2 in the union now that don't do rape you for an extra percentage. Let's see.
Hard Enduro is moving to Guam. Are you
that.
getting stationed in Guam, or are you just moving out there? That's a very curious move, Hard Enduro. So, I know a lot of people that have moved to Guam because they got orders to go be stationed in Guam.
It's not a vacation destination. Let's see. Raphael says, "Do you think we're going to see a new Titan in the near future?" No. I want to say it was the last live show I talked about. The Titan's future is in jeopardy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If the next year, once we get out of COVID times, we get a good 6 to 8 months of car sales. Car sales they're only down like 15% or something. The new numbers came out for the year. But once we get a little bit of time where somebody in Nissan can't hold that as an excuse, go like, well, it was COVID, that's why. Then, because the 2020 Titan came out when? Last January, into January. When did the world stop? By March. It hasn't had a fair shake. But I think the XDs, you won't hear about it after June. They'll come out. There'll be a report that says, "Oh, it's gone," and it's a good truck. I've owned it. Like I said, I think it's a great truck. I just at some point you got to cut your losses, and it's just not working for them.
I would say if they had the budget for it, I'd say keep going with it.
Yeah,
and just do better about what you screwed up previously. I think that there's a lot of
stop copying other brands. Be your own.
I don't even know. I don't even care so much about how it looks. I think they've done a really good job about how it looks. I think refresh it quicker and advertise it better. Yes. I think doing those 2 things would make you extremely relevant in the space, and it would allow for that Titan to be competitive.
Well, I'll say this for Titan. So, guys, on All Terrain Nation, we will review any car. We're Nissan fanboys, but part of my part-time job here is I need to review other vehicles. So Dan, I just spent some time in a 2021 F-150 Lariat. It wasn't the cool power boost one with the hybrid, but 65,000 on the sticker. Now, it being a Ford, they discount them. They give you a nice little discount. You're not paying sticker for that truck. And it's a brand new.
What was sticker on it, Dave?
65 is what sticker was.
Okay, sorry, I missed it. Sorry.
I started looking at everything, and it had the cool little shifter that went fold down. It didn't have
Dave,
the
where does Lariat fall in the lineup? Is it like up at the top, or is it kind of middle of the road?
It's above XLT, under.
Okay. It's a little bit above middle of the road.
Yeah, it's Pro for
XLT is kind of like the nicer version of the lower trims.
Yeah.
And then anything above XLT is kind of like your specialty trims, right? Yeah.
So you're getting leather, you're getting, the driving assist and all this stuff. Once again, you get the cool little lever, Dan, that when you wanted to flat, it was a knickknack that I was like, well, you'd use that about twice and forget about it. Guys, that truck, after looking at that and driving the latest thing Nissan has, there's no comparison, man. And I've drove the Platinums, and this is just Ford's Lariat. This isn't the King Ranch or getting into the Super Plush trims. The Platinum, once again, I'm a fanboy of Nissan, so don't think I'm bashing Nissan for this. I love the brand. I'm an underdog guy. Knowing that you could probably get that truck for about 58, Dan, everything you're getting the 12-inch monitor in that thing. And dude, that with the Sync 4 is freaking nice. The dash, the screen in the dash outdoes what Titan's doing right now. Ford's obviously capable of dumping a ton of money into theirs. If they want to just throw their wallet at that truck, they do it. Nissan can't do that, obviously. But
yeah, they sell enough to be able to do what they do.
They don't care. But I was comparing apples to apples, and I right now cannot say go buy a Titan versus if you were say an XLT or a
what would
Titan.
you get for $65K for a Titan? I mean, are they even selling? They're not selling for that much.
Retail
Platinum XD.
Nah, because XD is really not that much more than the regulars. But they do have a 60 to 65K truck in Platinum.
Yeah, which I would definitely say no.
And then you think resale. The Ford, now trucks hold their value pretty well, but man, you think the Titan just takes a hit because they knock 8K off of them across the board to sell these things. It just kills resale, dude.
Yeah, I get that.
But and the Ford thing, I'll have that review up probably next week on All Terrain Nation if you guys are interested in that. I just did one on the Bronco Sport, by the way, if you guys are interested in my opinion of the Bronco Sport. Go check that out over there. And I have a What the F series that I will bring to this channel too, because it's been pretty popular on the other channel, and it's basically me calling out a manufacturer. I'll be nice about it, but we'll do those starting on here too. Let's get to some questions, Dan. Let's see. Read on the forum. Carlos says, I read on the forums that the new 5.6 liter direct injection engine on the Titan has carbon buildup. Guessing it's the same thing would happen on a Frontier. Generally, Nissan does just take those and cut a couple cylinders off. Their engines are pretty across the board. This is what you get. But I want to see. They've had to work on it's a new engine. They've had to versus that 5.6. They've had to.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if adding a catch can might just take care of that problem too. So that might be an option. That might be a simple, good option for that motor. I've seen it a lot in other motors that are direct inject. You stick a catch can on it, and it kind of eliminates that problem. For the
somebody up earlier had mentioned about, and I'd reported on this several months ago, that the Altima is going to get a hatch, kind of like an Audi version, and that's coming. Yes, I've reported on that. Well, I want to say almost 6 months ago that was happening. I think it's like the two-door Altima. It's a niche car that, at the end of the day, unless it just looks super fastback, really awesome, cool, it goes away in 2 years. Let's see. If Dog Breath says, if the Titan is going goodbye, what is the future of Maxima? Once again, bad news I've reported. I was told this is the last year of Maxima.
Bye.
And our buddy intern Andrew bought a new Maxima, Dan. He bought the 40th anniversary Maxima.
Didn't he just buy a different vehicle?
He bought a Sentra.
And so he just bought a 40th anniversary.
So he
Maxima?
was so impressed with they had one in showroom. Every dealer had a chance to get one of the 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about $40K. It's in the modern car world, not bad, man. And he sold it, or one of the people at the dealership bought it, and he kicked himself because he had a deal on the table for the car. So he went and I want to say Regal sent over one of theirs because they had a couple of them. And yeah, intern Andrew is now in the Maxima Club.
The anniversary edition Maxima Club.
Yes, and it's sweet. And guess what? I will be heading down that way, I think, next month, and I'm going to do a review on that car.
Give it a little drive.
Give it a little.
Put the stones to her.
You know,
Give her a little. Give it a little. Give it a little CVT.
But yeah, as far as Maxima, I hate to say, if it was rear-wheel drive, I could see that thing sticking around a little bit. There's no place for that car because Altima just stepped it up again, man. And I'm not competing Altima against Maxima, but they're playing in the same ballpark. Do you want the $28,000 nice car, or do you want the $40,000 nice car that's the same size?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And cars in general, look, man, the big three did away with their cars, except I think each one of them makes maybe one.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall for sedans, man.
They're old heffalumps waiting to be put out to pasture.
Let's see. Nissan Hawaii Nation says, Dave, John at Nissan said to meet him at the factory, and he said you can take pictures of the all-new Frontier to show us. I bet he did. The last time I broke Nissan Frontier
should go smooth. Should go smoothly.
Yeah, the last time I did that, I got a lot of heat. Frank B's in the house. What's up, Frank B? Civil Warriors in the house. Thank you. We got up to 63 in here, Danny. Guys, if you once again,
we got a great group tonight.
If you'll smash the like button, I don't ask for the super chats and stuff; those are super awesome when you do them. But just smash the like button. Let's new people.
I want you to stick this right on your screen. I just want you to stuff this right up in your screen. So I want you to take your little mouse and just like this.
Let's see. Civil Warrior says, I agree with you about the Nissan. Okay. I had a feeling the Titan would stop selling. This is my thing. You see issues with Fords and others that people. It's a little jumbly.
Did you get lost on that one?
and I've had a lot of whiskey tonight. Let's see. It was a two-part message. B. Warren says, cancel the current Maxima, rebadge the Q50 as a Maxima, and phase out Infinity. I've said it for a long time. Nissan has no need for Infinity. You take Infinity if you want to keep it around, completely EV. You make like 3 cars, and that's Infinity. But Nissan themselves came out, what was it, last year around this time? It's like, oh, Infinity's our plus Nissan version now. And you're like, what? Nissan Plus? Nissan's having problems being Nissan. Why do we need to plus that? Let's see. ATX Trent, but Nissan does many incentives, yes. Yes, you can get Murano, which I think is a hell of a vehicle. Get it fairly affordable. I mean, I'm going through the questions here, see if we got anything. DS says, Nissan stated recently that Ghosn was the reason that they have a dated lineup. I've reported that for 4 years. There's no secret about that. He chased volume and not Nissan was always known for innovation. You can't have both. You can't be innovative and I got to sell 10% of the market share. Let's see. Danny says he's got to bounce, but we've been in an hour, Danny, so I understand. Danny's probably got that old man bladder.
It's not the old man bladder now. It's the young man wife problems.
I understand that.
I am locked down to 1 hour. I wanted to just say thanks so much to everybody. I'm gonna have a bunch of videos dropping in the next in the next week of the race truck. It's coming along really quick. Follow along to Groot X. And hopefully we'll get some cool stuff coming out from that little thing I was teasing about earlier tonight. Love you guys, and I'm stoked to see 70 people in here chatting about Nissans. Um, Mahalo, Ronald.
Um, Danny, so you said you're going, but one quick thing. You said you're leaving, or
Yep.
you're going to check out that truck, which is really, really cool.
Monday, I'm going to check out the truck. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to pick up my race truck. I went today, but we had one more thing that needed to be fixed on it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so he's gonna be he said he'd work on it today to get it ready for tomorrow. So I'm picking the race truck up from BTF, the guy that has done most of the fab work on the truck, bringing it back, and then I'm doing a bunch of work again myself to finish everything up. And then it's testing. I think 2 weeks from now we're going to take it out to the desert, do some testing. Not everything on the truck is finished, but it's at a point to where I can go take it out, beat on it a little bit, make sure all suspension's working right. That there's no big flaws in the truck that I will need to tackle. So that way I can kind of spend the money on the last little bits and be done.
Bro,
Or
you're taking
maybe
so much heat.
I'm taking so much heat.
Oh man, it's fun. It's great, Dan. But anyways, guys, so Danny, I do appreciate. I don't want to keep, because we could just keep doing this all night. But I'm going to answer you guys' final questions while Danny hits the highway. And Danny,
thanks, guys. Love you so much.
see you next week. Peace,
Out.
everybody. All right, so now you're dealing with just Dave. You're dealing with Grumpy Bear Dave. So let's get into this. I'll give you a few more minutes. I know some of you guys probably had some questions I didn't get to. And if you did, please let me know. I don't mind going through them. Frontier news. Any minute now, I'm waiting for a press release on that, and that's the honest truth. They've done everything. Nissan themselves have hinted. My inside sources have told me when to kind of expect it, but other than that, I have not got the exact time yet. I'm sure you guys, some of you are probably like, Dave, Jesus Christ, quit please talking about Frontier that's not here yet. In the Nissan world, we don't have a ton to talk about right now. Did y'all see though that Nissan's their IT department kind of and it wasn't Nissan itself. It was a company that does a lot of work for them, but they kind of messed up things and potential access was given. Let's see. What's up? What's up, Dave? Yeah, Danny leaves and you just got here, man. Thank you, Corbjorn, for saying smash that like button. Let's see. Oh, now that Danny's not here, we can have an honest chat about the towing and all that, right? No, I would do that to Dan. Let's see. We've got some. I know the channel in December has been kind of quiet, other than the Armada release, and there's not been a lot in the Nissan world to get into. I've always told you guys that December in the automotive world is sort of a quiet time. Jeep just released the Grand Cherokee, how they still use a Cherokee name I'll never know in these political times. We got a Washington team and a Cleveland team now, and I guess Jeep could call that a Grand team. I don't know. Let's see. Let me get a couple more. Let's see. You couldn't finish your thoughts, so in one, like Donald can't flush. What? You guys are scaring me in the chats, man. Nobody. Corbjorn says nobody disrespects the Groot. Would you like to come defend the Groot?
I don't need to. He knows.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll get time for a couple more questions if you guys have them. Best time to buy a Nissan is generally February and March. Nissan's generally they don't bring new models out till late, so I wouldn't disagree with that because they're trying to get rid of. I would, if we search the database, do you guys think that we would find some 19 still on lots of Titans? I bet you would. Let's see. Raphael says, are we going to see a new Xterra? Maybe. That one that we seen popped up, the Xterra. It's not the Xterra that we all know and love. There is good potential for that thing to hit the United States. I was told by Nissan that the Xterra in general that we've seen in the Asian markets just wasn't nice enough, they thought, to be in this market. That Xterra is definitely nice enough to be in this market. The only thing I think it needs is a bigger engine. But depending, I haven't heard much about the capability, or the fuel economy of that engine, really. So we'll see. DS says Japanese government was pushing Nissan Honda to merge a couple months ago. Yes, they were, and Honda said, no. Honda wants no part of that. But Honda is in a particular weird position of they need a dance partner bad. And we've documented on this show many times that the Japanese brands don't like to, they don't play well with other countries. So that does make sense that they would go, oh, here's a Japanese company, but they're just completely different companies. I don't think you would ever see that happen. Plus, Honda's in the position that Nissan sort of is, except Honda doesn't have really a real truck line. Honda's in a bad position if you think about it with the slowing down of sedans. What do you think of Honda when you think of Honda? It's sedans. Yeah, they have their little SUV, but they don't have much past that. So if Honda were to do away with I want to say the Accord is going away. That leaves Civic. I don't know if they're still doing Fit or any of that stuff, but they don't have much to go from. So it would, on paper, make sense, but in reality, they're just not the right. Oh, thank you, Kevin. What a great segue to that. So you guys know what this is, right? This is a manual shifter. What else we got here? This is a racing steering wheel. So, me and Danny have been toying with this idea, and this isn't breaking news for us. We would like to get a sim night going. Doesn't have to be once a week. It could be once a month. I don't care. But we would like to get a sim night going to where you guys can participate, and we do maybe a private race on something like iRacing. If you don't know what iRacing is, we're on YouTube after this ends here in a couple minutes. Go check out iRacing. It's some of the craziest. I don't care what kind of racing you're in. They have something for you. And I grew up sim racing. I was very obsessed with sim racing. I had to quit it for a while because of my obsession with sim racing. Because especially in the mid-2000s, it was getting very expensive. But I have a cockpit coming. I kid you not. I have the steering wheel, the shifter, manual transmission, all the fun of sim racing. And we're working on getting Danny the same setup. And we want to have some fun with you guys. And I don't know if any of you are already in sim racing or not. It's a good way to waste a few hours. And I just think it would be fun. The idea is to stream, probably just, it's complicated, so it'd probably just be my version of it here. But you guys, obviously, we'd be racing you guys. And, might be fun. We're still we're buying some of the gear to, me and Danny's got to get comfortable with it before we're comfortable going, hey, everybody, come on in. What's up? Speaking of sim racing, the Red Baron Chronicles knows all about that sim racing. Yeah, there's a bunch of good platforms for sim racing. But, guys, we got to get you on this channel with the video version now. You did our podcast about a year ago now. But Red Baron, go follow him, guys. He does a bunch of, when he's not testing his real car, he's sim racing, man. And if you're a racer, sim racing is pretty damn close. Gives you the same, a lot of professional GT drivers, man, they sim race during the off season to keep sharp. So, but I think it would be fun for the channel. Let us know if you guys are interested in it, because once again, we're just looking for ways that you guys can kind of be a part of the show more. So I think that would be fun. Let's see. ATX Trent says Honda is joining with GM. Honda and GM have had some things in the past. And there's a lot of joint ventures out there, but Nissan and Honda do need a strong partner. B. Warren says assisted living homes across the country are keeping Honda afloat. I don't doubt that. Honda needs something exciting. I do think, though, that the next Ridgeline that we see this year, it's going to be pretty. It's not a complete truck, but It's pretty cool. Let's see. Would we be able to watch on Twitch TV? Yes. So Kevin, we do have a Twitch channel called All Terrain Nation over there. There's nothing on it right now, but we're playing around with the idea of doing it strictly Twitch. But we'll see. YouTube's our home, so I don't want to. You never want to piss off each market. So Twitch is obviously known for gaming. YouTube has gaming, but this is kind of our more news oriented side. So I don't know. We're working out the details on that. So let's see. Titans won't be. Civil Warrior says Titans won't be sold anymore. And they stay on the road longer than. Staying on the road longer. Yeah, there was a quiet report that came out the other day that said, I forget, Titan was in the top 3 or something of surprise vehicles that you wouldn't know for quality. Let's see. Clown Jubilee. I own an R51 2006 Pathfinder. People say it's unreliable, but it has been the most dependable vehicle I've owned in my 50 years of life. Yes. Other than the little hiccup they had of Strawberry Milkshake of Death, SMOD, which they fixed by late 2009, mid 2009. There's nothing about that platform that is bad. How about Discord? I do have a Discord. That reminds me. Thank you, Ronald. I have a Discord set up. If you guys would like to join, it's All Terrain Nation. Capital A, LL, capital T, capital N. You know the deal. Join in. The Discord is fun because we, you guys can chat with each other whenever you want. So that's always cool. Let's see. Any more questions? I'm starting to lose my voice. But yes, Kevin, to answer your question, I know, Kevin, you had expressed some concern on the post I did about that of, if you're talking about cars or something, we would just be talking about, it's just kind of a fun night is what that is. So kind of like these. Let's see. Oh, almost bedtime, old man, Corbjorn says. My son over there being a little smart ass.
That's you saying, oh, I'm losing my voice over here.
No, I am. I need more whiskey is the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Clown Jubilee. Oh, I already got that one. Let's see. But yes, Kevin, you would just be able to watch, and it gets recorded and replayed if you want to. I think something like that. You guys know me and Dan. Dan is the fun side. I'm more of the kind of journalism side. I still want, this channel doesn't have to be just like TFL or something where it's just strictly car. I walk you through my garage and show 15 cars that the companies have brought to me to test and bragging about, oh, look at this car. Oh, we're doing this week with this. That's not the goal for this channel or my media empire in general. My goal for this is to, have fun. I mean, that's what cars are about and trucks are about. We're having fun with this stuff. You've seen me and Danny. We go to attend these things. We want to go have fun. So that we're just looking for ways to continue to have fun. Let's see. Ridgeline is like an Odyssey with a cage. I would agree. Let's see. Do you think Nissan will put the Titan 9-speed transmission in the new Pathfinder and QX60? Yes, NV. I've reported that over a year ago that was happening. Nothing official just yet, but my inside sources keep telling me these things. Till we know, we never know. I always like to preface that. If I tell you something till it's official, never take it as completely official. But yes, I've heard that the 9-speed will be in the new Pathfinder. And if it's in the Pathfinder, yes, the QX60, which has been part of Infinity's downfall with Infinity in general, is they've added a lot of CVT transmissions to that brand. Let's see. Raphael says, or Nismorg says, Raphael, that's exactly what it is. Let's see. I was sad to see one of my friends from Nismo moved on from Nismo, and they are now with Z1 Off-Road. But I want to say shout out to Miss Brienne over there. That congratulations on moving to Z1. They're not a paid sponsor of the show, but I'm happy to see my friends move on to bigger and better things. Oh, Kevin says it is happening. So, and Kevin would know. So let's see. So like you said, if they're top 3 in quality, why are they not selling? It's because nobody knows that Nissan actually has a full-size truck. And that's that's the simple truth. Nissan's done a horrible job of saying, "Hey, we have a big, powerful, full-size truck." The truck buyer in that market, the full-size truck, they're super brand loyal. They're hard to peel off. Toyota knows this. Toyota sells 250,000 Tacomas a year, and they're only 6,000 to 9,000 trucks a month for Tundra. So let's see, where was something? Nismore, Dave, what dealer in Tennessee did you get the Titan from? Nissan of Murfreesboro or Murfreesboro Nissan Nismorg, which I would not deal with ever again. I won't even. I got mad at my wife. She needed something for Xterra, and she went to that dealership. It used to be great, and they got bought out about a year and a half ago. And anyways, no reason to get angry about that. But I've dealt with Newton Nissan in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is a very good Nissan dealership. It's who we actually. I could have, when I leased my Titan, I should have taken it back to Murfreesboro, Nissan, whatever. And I purposely went out of my way to take it to another dealership because that's the experience I had with that dealership. Envy says, I heard the next GTR will be an Infinity. There won't be a next GTR for a bit. So that's about all I can say of that for right now. But GTR is going to be put in the vault for a minute. B. Warren says, when will Z1 become the AMG of Nissan? They have the Warrior and the Dually Titan in their shop already. Well, they have the Warrior because the Heritage Collection here in Nashville, they need a little more room. And I think that's part of the Nissan's Heritage Collection now, and it benefits Z1 to have that. They built the Dually, and that's still part of Nismo, though. That is not Z1's. The Dually is not Z1's. So, and neither is the Warrior. Let's see. My local dealership barely has any Titans in stock. Let's see. I've had downtown Nissan, Nismorg. I've had a good relationship with downtown Nissan in Nashville, Tennessee. I was actually at Nissan Cookeville 2 days ago. I've heard good things about Cookeville, but I've never had any experience with them. But let us know if you're buying something from somebody. Let's see, anything else? All right, guys, that's an hour 18. I've got cold pizza over there sitting that I need to chew on. You know the drill with this. The glass is empty and the bar is closed. So from all things Nissan here in my studios to wherever you're watching this around the globe, if you guys have any questions, comments during the week, NissanNationPodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know. And maybe we'll bring your question or comment here to the show. Oh, wait. Ramesh, what do you think about the IDX concept? I think the IDX concept was a concept, and we will never see that again. Yes, please smash that like button. Matt Volta, what's up, buddy? Over there, Trail Chasers. Go follow Trail Chasers. They need only a few more to hit 1,000 subs, so go give those guys a little bit of love. And tell them the NMP sent you. So from all things Nissan here in my studios to wherever you guys are watching us around the globe, this is your Nissan Nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. And what are we, guys?
We are out!